remember all the videos he's made calling children pedophiles and never corrected. Yeah, calling those children below the age of 16 pedophiles is cool, but calling a 17-year-old flirting with a 13-year-old a groomer is just too far, man.
I will say, even if flirted first, that wouldn't excuse Josh doing such an act as well. That being said, it appears that had a one-sided crush on the person. Josh was not even aware he had a crush on him until he left the community either. Most interactions between the two took place in VCs rather than DMs, which has made it harder to verify. It's even been alleged that faked his age as well, although that hasn't been confirmed in this case yet. We do know that he didn't disclose his age to Albert upon his request, and those interactions were closer to what has been described. I want to be charitable in the case that Josh actually did flirt back to the victim, something he claims didn't happen. If it did, that would be gross, even with Josh being unaware of their age. I just have a hard time believing that story, or the claims of grooming and pedophilia it's attached to. The worst case scenario I can imagine is that Josh unknowingly enabled his behavior. Wouldn't be great, but I don't sense any creepy intentions from him. Something that would be needed to make these bold claims of grooming. And to even claim possible pedophilia, Josh would have to know the victim's age during this, which he didn't. And unlike the case with Henry, Josh wasn't posting material that would raise more suspicions. There is one other reason why I have doubts, and that's due to the figures involved in the narrative.
Bracket will also not understand what I'm going for, like when talking about that Dark Lord Henry. You cannot be a pedophile below the age of 16.
Whose determination is that? Doesn't matter in this case. You admit that Henry was at least 17, basically making it possible for them to be a pedo by your own rules.
Hey Bracket, where did I say Henry, also now known as Andrew, was or wasn't a pedophile? Oh wait, I didn't say that. The reason I brought that up was because Astley was a full-grown adult while Henry would have either been a minor, or barely an adult. I bring this up because it would make more sense for one to be charitable to the 17-year-old instead of the 25-year-old. Now am I saying I agree with that level of leniency? No, but I can understand why one would be more lenient towards Andrew. This is a point I highlight because someone came up to me in private and asked about that since they were under the belief I was defending Andrew. I didn't make my video to defend his targets as people outside of the rants or shit on them, just pointing out that his content sucks. This misunderstanding will especially confuse people who simply listen to videos like this and aren't actively looking at visuals. This isn't the only thing that'll confuse people listening in the background. Remember the claim. If you were looking at screen, you would have seen text clarifying that it was also minor when that was stated to have happened, so, congrats, because Bracket failed to clarify such verbally. You might have been walking out of the video thinking he was a child predator as opposed to walking out knowing Bracket was making a sexual harassment claim. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna. A lot of points made against me are also assumptions, whether they be minor, like me being right-wing, which no, I'm not right-wing, I am a leftist who hates both political parties. Never gonna give you up. Bracket brings up me using a Dennis Prager clip to make a buy your logic point, but I don't watch that. Outside of that clip of him saying something was so stupid you had to have gone to college to say it, which I thought was funny, and what you said was so stupid you have to be intentionally saying stupid shit way. It doesn't work as a hypocrisy point because he can't prove I've watched him outside of that claim while I've proven Package knows of the Pappy videos I was referring to, but it's not the worst point in the world. Like Bracket, come on, how you getting the shit on me and then be worse at this in the same video. Bracket at the end of his video starts talking about how I suck outside of those videos on Box and Josh. One of his points being that I replied to a dead person around the time they were dead, which I didn't even know that person or the fact they were dead. I just found a tweet of theirs I thought was funny and replied to it. Something Brackett realized could have been resolved in private, but was hesitant to reach out to me. The thing that pissed me off the most when I first saw his video was when he talked about the imposter account situation. If you're unaware, someone on Twitter decided to make an imposter account out of me. I'm currently unaware on who made it, but I have my suspicions. Brackett would find this imposter thinking it was me, and I made a post about it. Something worth noting is that Brackett acknowledged he made a mistake. So you'd think it ended there? Wrong. Brackett failed to correct it after acknowledging such, which pissed me off because one of his replies to the account implied I was a groomer, because of an account I had no control of, so I tried getting his attention, whether by Twitter messages, which he apparently didn't see. To be fair, Twitter posts, which he shows in the video, and Discord messages, which was when he finally did something to correct that fuck up. I thought it was ironic how he was calling me sickeningly dishonest. Meanwhile, he couldn't correct a tweet that implied I was a groomer, over a tweet he told me he knew wasn't sent by me, after acknowledging he was wrong in his belief the account was actually me. Meanwhile, I believed what I said in my Josh and Box videos when I uploaded them, so for Brackett to call me sickening dishonest was ironic, and I called it out. This is his response to that.
In late April, I was made aware of a Twitter profile for Mister Blocky under the tag Blocky Dumbass. In it, I found loads of absurd and outlandish claims that were made on it. Sometimes it'd be funny bad tweets such as, "Nick Okada is cringe, I'd rather play video games," but more often these would be followed by, "Too Mad is innocent, Leafy is here should come back, South Park grooms people into being pedophiles," and my personal favorite, "Chibi art is the pro shipper style and all chibi artists are pro shippers." That last one also connects to a few tweets which were made against the art YouTuber Thuman, who spoke out against such conflation. One tweet, however, really caught my eye, and this one I just have to read verbatim. "Why staying close to groomers when you can always have me? I'll always have their back and defend them to give them justice." What the fuck?
Notice how these tweets look like the kind of tweets a troll would post if they managed to hack someone they didn't like. The South Park tweet is clearly as fucking glorious, but not something I'd say seriously. I haven't paid much mind to the Too Mad shit, just hearing he died and was a pedophile, so I wouldn't tell you he's innocent. I don't even know what the fuck a pro ship art style is, and that tweet sounds like a troll anyways. The Thuman tweet is another obvious bait tweet. I don't even watch their content, and the tweet brings up a controversial figure to get attention. The only one of these I agree with earnestly is the Leafy is here one. His ban was bullshit, but that's more an issue with YouTube being shit rather than me being a diehard Leafy fan. The only way I can see people falling for this account was if they thought I was trolling people, especially because of tweets like the groomer one. That tweet is the equivalent of hacking a white person's account and writing about how black people should be slaves again with it.
Doesn't that sound suspiciously like grooming to you? At the very least, writing off a victim's trauma and being real clingy towards them? I thought it did, so much so I actually responded to it. Later on, the account responded back with, "The fuck? How did you find me? Blocky dumbass. Emphasis on dumb. Your account wasn't on private."
Wouldn't that make you more suspicious? You're not a big creator and the account was public. If you were a big creator, I'd probably make a little comment about a big creator noticing me, and I mean like nostalgia critic or angry video game nerd big. But I'd also make an actual response. Bracket, if someone made an account with your name and said they eat shit and shit that shit out, is that account yours because it has your name on it?
Anyone could find your tweets, including a total including a dork like me. Following this, they later replied again, assuming I was part of this stalker part of the community, whatever that is. A day later, I would reply to one of the previously mentioned tweets, generalizing chibi artists as pro-shippers.